Alright, we're back with part 2 of my Oni sword-based Mythic guide. When we left off, I was just trying to take care of these ghosts ahead of me here. I'm bombing away at them from long range, and I got real lucky. One shot there, boom, got both of them. That was easy, eh? With them out of the way, gonna move in a little closer again. Most of the infantry has gone from the area, but I still have that one plasma cannon wielding elite up on the roof of that bunker there to deal with. He's a really big threat. He will take out the Wraith really quickly if I let him lock on. I'm really pushing my luck by moving this close. I'm just trying to get a bead on him. See, he actually manages to get a shot off on me. Luckily, it's just one grenade, so it doesn't finish me off. Although I back up pretty quickly. Some of the other Mythic guides suggest actually getting out of the tank and dealing with him on foot. But the idea of trying to pull that off just scares the crap out of me. So I'm gonna move the Wraith up to the left here. I'm far enough away that he can't lock onto me, but I've got an elevation advantage now. I can actually see the top of the roof, and with a Wraith, that gives me all the leverage I need to take him out. His shields are very strong. He's an elite general. So you're going to need to hit him a few times before he goes down. But once again, as with everything in Mythic, just be patient. Just keep blasting away at him. You got all the time in the world, and you can see I finally just finish him off there. So now that's it for this area. All the enemies are cleared. Just going to move in, restock on health and ammo, hit the switch to activate the anti-air gun. Then jump back in the Wraith, and we're actually going to backtrack now. Go back the way you came, past the garage area, and we're going to head over to the comm array now. Taking this route, backtracking, actually avoids several little clusters of enemies that you would have to fight if you went the other way. But no sense in fighting more enemies than you have to. As we move along this ledge here, the comm array is going to just come into view. There it is there. There's a pair of buildings. As we come over this ridge, what we're doing is you want to really just inch forward slowly until you can see the Covenant Revenant vehicle. That's the purple mini Wraith up ahead there. That's going to be your first priority as you enter this area. Once you spot the Revenant, there it is. Don't move forward. Just if you can see it, just start taking shots at it. You don't want to move up close, because then it'll engage you and start firing back. But from this distance, it doesn't try to retaliate. You just take your time, make it rain until you take it down. Once the Revenant's out of the way, we're going to move a little closer to that far building. There goes the Revenant, just nailed it. That far building is where the generator switch is kept. It's also filled with about 7 or 8 grunts, a couple jackals, and a few elites as well. Again, we're just going to use distance to our advantage. You can creep up along the right-hand side here to give yourself a little bit of an easier time hitting all your targets. But yeah, don't push yourself too close. You're at absolutely no risk from this far back. They can't hit you with anything that'll do any damage, and you can just take your time and whittle away at them. It's going to speed things up a little bit here. You can see it. It takes a while to clear them all out. Some of the elites will move out of the building and start sort of swarming around that little rock cluster by those trees up ahead there. Sometimes makes them a little easier to hit because you can actually get some splash damage off the rocks that they're hiding on. Once you're sure that you've really cleared the area, we're going to move into that building. There's health and ammo in the building there, so again, it's a good sort of replenishment point. The moment we hit the generator switch, a spirit dropship is going to fly overhead and unload a whole bunch of skirmishers into this little valley here. You then have a couple of options. You can either get back in the Wraith and try and take out the skirmishers with the Wraith cannon, or you can do what I prefer to do, which is actually stay out on foot, use the Wraith for cover, and just take the skirmishers out from long range with a DMR. I find it's a lot easier to hit them with a DMR than it is to hit them with the Wraith's cannon. They're so fast, they usually run out of the way before the cannon hits them. So I hit the switch there, and then I make the mistake of running outside. I completely forgot about this dropship, which just bombs away on me with its cannon, and almost killed me with those couple of shots. I'm lucky to really have survived that. There it is there, opening up, and here come the skirmishers. So now as the skirmishers come pouring out, you can see I'm just hugging the Wraith for cover, taking them out with the DMR. Skirmishers are one of the few enemies on Mythic that you can still take out relatively easily with headshots. Just keep an eye out for those two that like to try and strafe you on the left. In addition to the skirmishers running through the valley, there's a few more that'll climb into the building on the far side, as well as a couple grunts. The next switch that we need to hit to activate the comms array is in that building, and it's a good idea to take your time and really clear out the area completely before you move into that building. If you hurry things, it's pretty easy to rush into that building and find yourself cornered against a few grunts with no cover at close range, and that's just not going to go well. So let them run around on the rooftop there and just pick them out from a distance. So I just picked off the last of the skirmishers there. I'm going to bring the tank back around, then run in through the building and activate the switch. There's a little bit more ammo and another health pack there. You can see that trick, I've used it a few times where I overcharge right up against the wall and pick up a health pack at the same time. It's a good way to replenish your shields. Once you hit that switch, a pelican's going to come by and drop off a Gauss hog for you. But don't take it. We're going to make good use of it, but not till a little later. So remember where it is, but for now, climb back in the Wraith. Try not to blow yourself up like I almost did right there. And inch forward along this cliff edge. There's some more Covenant vehicles being dropped off ahead, but once again, they're really not a problem if you spot them from a distance, because they really don't have anything with the kind of range that you have with the Wraith cannon, and they won't approach you. So just keep your distance and take them out from long range. What we're doing is we're just using the Wraith to clear out the Covenant forces between the comms array and the garage area where we started. And so you're just going to move slowly forward. The moment you see a single Covenant enemy, whether it's a ghost or even just a lone grunt, just stop, deal with them one at a time, and there's really very little challenge to this area as long as you take it really slow. There goes another Revenant, and there's a second one as I round this corner here. But you can see they make no move to attack me whatsoever. As long as you stay out of range, they're sitting ducks. That poor little bugger just jumped right into that one. There goes the other Revenant. So I think that's just about it for all the Covenant reinforcements in this area. I'm going to scout ahead with the Wraith just to be safe, make sure there's nothing else. We're going to move back into this garage area next. You can see ahead along the ramp there's more Covenant reinforcements coming back. Here's me being an idiot again and actually forgetting what I'm supposed to do next. It takes me a few minutes, but eventually I remember that I'm going to need the Gauss hog for this next area. So we're going to go back to the comms array. And there's the Gauss warthog right where we left it. A very lonely looking Marine standing there waiting. Say goodbye to the Wraith. It's done you well, but we're gonna be finished with it for this mission. So you jump in the Gauss hog, you bring it back to the garage area, and we're gonna pull the hog into this little loading bay and use its Gauss cannon to clear the ramp ahead. You can see a bunch of jackals and a few elites on this ramp ahead here. But the Gauss cannon is pretty good for dealing with them. It'll take 3 or 4 shots to kill most of the elites, even with the Gauss cannon. So try and wait till they're out in the open and you can nail them consecutively a few times. You might have to reposition the hog a little bit here as the enemy forces move around. So the goal here is to clear out the rest of the enemy reinforcements with the Gauss hog. Then we actually have to get the hog over these concrete barriers in front of me here and to take it into the next area. This was a bit of a frustrating stretch of the mission for me because I think you can see there's one elite hiding at the back, and he's a real pain in the butt. He just does not come far forward enough for me to really finish him off. Every time I hit him, he pulls back behind cover, and it took me an embarrassingly long period of time to get rid of this one elite. I'm going to speed it up here so you don't have to sit through the whole thing, but I'm not going to cut it out because it's worth a good laugh just watching the trials I go through trying to get rid of this one elite. It was a good 12 minutes in game of me repositioning the hog, moving it around, jumping out of the hog and slowly moving up the ramp on foot to try and lure him forward. Then dashing back and taking more shots at him. I eventually get so frustrated that I just decide to, to hell with it, let me get the hog over the barrier now so I can move it even farther forward. And that's just as embarrassing because I forgot how to get it over the barrier. See, I try to armor lock pop it over the barrier. You might have seen people do that on videos before. You can use the armor lock's overcharge to send it flying over the barrier, but I just can't get it to work. So then I start chipping away at these barriers, hoping to knock enough material off of them to drive over it. And that didn't work at first either, so I go back to trying to lure the elite over. There he is, take a couple shots, run like a sissy and hide. Still nothing. Finally I decide to go back to chipping away at these barriers because I finally remember how to get over them. We're just getting to the end of part 2 here. Stay tuned for part 3 where you'll get to see me finally kill that elite.